So my dad was born in Oklahoma City and grew up there. Went to high school at Capitol Hill High School, and there he met my mother, and they got married soon after high school, and he went into the Navy. So he actually was deployed in Alaska, and they spent about probably 5 years up in Kodiak, Alaska. He was an electronics technician, and that's where he really discovered an aptitude and interest in engineering. After my father was discharged from the Navy, then he attended the University of Oklahoma, got his bachelor's in electrical engineering. Then he and my mother and my two siblings and I, we moved to New Mexico. And he attended New Mexico State University, also working on his master's in electrical engineering. And while he was there, he was fortunate to have an internship at Bell Labs. And it was a paid internship, and they paid for tuition, and he got to do some work on missile systems at White Sands Missile Range. So that was a place where he gained some significant experience and developed an interest in missile technologies. And after he got his master's, then they came back to Oklahoma. My dad loved Oklahoma and wanted to be here, so he came to Oklahoma State to work on his PhD and continued doing some work related to missile systems. And one of his primary focus areas was how the atmosphere interacts with different missile trajectories. So they would account for that and do mathematical modeling to make sure that the missile systems would have accuracy. When Ed was in school here at Oklahoma State, he spent a lot of time in his study and a lot of time on campus in his office. And I don't know, so I was pretty young. I was 7 when he got his PhD, I believe. And so I was pretty young, and I didn't understand a lot of what he was working on. But I know that there were some early computer type systems that they were developing and working on, and he was very excited about that. And periodically there would be open houses, or they'd have kind of technology showcase events, and so we would come up, and he would be interacting with all of the other students. When he was in the PhD program, he was teaching, and so he was really engaged and enjoying the other students and the technology development. One thing I remember him saying was how when he was teaching as a TA, and then later after he graduated, technology was changing so rapidly that every semester he had to really develop entire new course curricula, because what he had taught just a semester previously didn't really apply any longer. So it kept him very busy. He really enjoyed some of his colleagues, such as Kenneth McCollum, Dr. McCollum, and his lovely wife. They were very welcoming to my dad and to my mom and our family, and he found a lot of support there. He was very inspired. Dr. Rama Kamara was someone that he worked closely with, and established a strong bond that lasted for many, many years. Some of his students actually became his friends. One in particular, Lloyd Salzman, was a lifelong friend and business partner, and partner in all kinds of other activities that always had an interesting story associated with them. Well, my dad was always a very intelligent, smart man, and I found it actually a little bit intimidating when I was young, just because he knew so much about so many things. Although when I would try to go to him for help with my math homework, I think he thought I could maybe understand at a college student level, so that was not ever very effective. But he was a quiet person, always loved the outdoors. He was whatever he wanted to learn, he wanted to become very accomplished with whatever that skill set was. So he enjoyed hunting, he enjoyed fishing, he enjoyed running, exercising. Later in life, he became an aerobics instructor. So he really enjoyed doing things that were physical and got him outside. I remember as a small child, we just had to be quiet around the house most of the time because he would be in his study, studying, doing his homework for all of his engineering classes. And he was a TA, so he taught some classes, so he was also preparing lessons. So it was really, as I got older, really as an adult, that I got to know him in a different way and got to work with him through the business that he helped found. And I learned many important things about both business and people and the wonders of engineering.